안녕하세요. 매일매일 운동하기를 추천하고 있는 동사왕코입니다. 오늘은 4월 21일. 4월도 끝나갑니다, 여러분. 운동하겠습니다. 여전히 우크라이나와 러시아는 전쟁 중이고, 그리고 또 뭐 있죠? 요즘에 비트코인 5천만 원 간당간당하죠. 그리고 또 뭐가 있을까요? 요즘 핫한 게 프랑스 대선이 제가 알아봤는데 1차 투표와 2차 투표가 있대요. 1차 투표에서 1등하고 2등을 걸러내서 2차 투표 때 1등하고 2등이 하는 겁니다. 지금 마크론이랑 펜 두 명이 지금 후보죠. 얼핏 봤는데 둘 중에 한 명이 친러고 한 명은 반러라고 했던 것 같은데, 네, 아주 흥미진진합니다. 24일인가? 그렇답니다, 투표가. 뭐 없죠? 카타르 월드컵 있고, 네, 그렇네요. 운동하겠습니다. 스트레칭하고 팔굽혀펴기 할게요.
Heard it all before? But have you heard it like this?
The ultimate disruptor looks set to shake up our world. We really can't ignore the impact that this has. What can we do that explores a fresh angle? So let's untangle the players and political forces. The truth is a lot more complex. What's really going on?
Fast-paced news, in-depth reports, and fact checks from the perspective of The Global Brief with Bianca Nobilo, Tuesday through Saturday on CNN.
I'm Zain Asha, and this is CNN.
Welcome back, everybody. I'm John Dawes, live in Lviv, Ukraine, 30 minutes past the hour. The Kremlin has carried out a test launch of one of its newest and most advanced intercontinental ballistic missiles, capable of flying more than 6,000 miles or 10,000 kilometers and carrying a much bigger nuclear payload. And the timing, also notable. Vladimir Putin says the new missile should make Russia's enemies think twice. CNN's Barbara Starr has more now, reporting in from the Pentagon.
Russia releasing video of this intercontinental ballistic missile test, modernizing a key strategic weapon just as it presses forward with its new offensive in the Donbas region of Ukraine. Russian President Vladimir Putin bragging that the launch was a momentous event.
This truly unique weapon will strengthen the combat potential of our armed forces, reliably ensure Russia's security from external threats, and provide food for thought for those who, in the heat of frenzied aggressive rhetoric, try to threaten our country.
The RS-28 Sarmat missile, sometimes called the Satan II, was revealed back in 2016. It's designed to replace a Soviet-era model. Russia claims it can carry multiple nuclear warheads and has a range of more than 6,800 miles, making it potentially capable of striking the U.S. Russia says the missile was launched Wednesday afternoon from northern Russia, traveling across the country to a test site in the Far East. The Pentagon says the test was not a surprise.
They provided advance notice of this launch under its New START treaty obligations that it planned to test this missile. The Defense Department said today that we did not deem the test a threat to the United States or its allies.
But a senior U.S. defense official still said the launch was not something that would be done by a responsible nuclear power in the current tense environment. As Putin's war in Ukraine drags on, Russia appears to be determined to proceed with its advanced weapons. The U.S. canceled the scheduled ICBM test earlier this month.
We're at a very tenuous point. Wanted to make sure that we were doing prudent things and managing escalation.
The question now, will the U.S. resume testing its own intercontinental ballistic missiles? Barbara Starr, CNN, the Pentagon.
Well, Russia is already flying a flag of victory over parts of Ukraine, but it's the Soviet victory flag from World War II which has been seen in parts of occupied areas. This comes ahead of the May 9th deadline, which is Russia's World War II Victory Day, and a date which this year Putin is believed hoping to declare some kind of victory from this so far bungled war in Ukraine. A statue of former Soviet leader Lenin has also been installed outside a council building in the occupied town of Heneshek. New US sanctions announced Wednesday, once again targeting Russia's financial system, as well as punishing a commercial bank said to be at the heart of the Kremlin's attempts to evade sanctions. Russian companies that mine cryptocurrencies have also been targeted, and visa restrictions imposed on more than 600 Russian individuals. Also sanctioned were dozens of individuals and shell companies who allegedly are part of a vast global network aligned with an already sanctioned oligarch. Well, for some who are close to Vladimir Putin, being sanctioned by the West is a source of pride. But others, particularly the uber-wealthy oligarchs, are becoming tired of their assets being seized or frozen. So could that be a threat to Vladimir Putin's hold on power? CNN's Brian Todd takes a closer look.
Money is not everything.
A Russian billionaire and bank founder now lashing out against Vladimir Putin's war in Ukraine. Oleg Tinkov, in an Instagram post, calls the war insane, says innocent people and soldiers are dying. Generals waking up with a hangover have realized they have an army. Tinkov asked the West to give Mr. Putin a clear exit to save his face and stop this massacre.
Oleg Tinkov is the first member of Russia's financial elite to speak out against the war directly and criticize Vladimir Putin. It's significant because while others have spoken out, they have not targeted Putin himself.
Oligarchs like Roman Abramovich, Mikhail Fridman, and Oleg Deripaska have campaigned for peace, but avoided slamming Putin directly. One oligarch, Leonid Nevzlin, has criticized Putin directly, but Nevzlin renounced his Russian citizenship in a Facebook post last month.
I do not accept this citizenship, my Russian citizenship, with the fascist Putin at the helm.
Oleg Tinkov has been sanctioned by the UK. There's a growing list of luxury toys allegedly belonging to Russian elites that have been seized following the start of the Ukraine war, including several super yachts confiscated in European ports. The Amore Vero, with multiple VIP suites and a pool that turns into a helipad, which French officials linked to sanctioned oil executive Igor Sechin. The Dilbar, worth at least $600 million, with one of the largest pools ever put on a yacht, about 80 feet long, believed to be owned by Russian mining magnate Alisher Usmanov, who also possessed what the U.S. Treasury called one of Russia's largest privately owned aircraft, an Airbus 340 named Burkhan, after his father.
The seizure of yachts and mansions and financial assets is placing increasing pressure on Russian oligarchs who reside overseas, and that's why we're starting to see them speak out in this way.
But is this a turning point for Vladimir Putin? If he continues to lose support from the oligarchs, could his hold on power be legitimately threatened?
They have become politically less important, economically still somewhat important, but not as important as others from, say, the security services who are closer to the decision making and closer to Vladimir Putin.
Analysts say Putin started several years ago to replace the oligarchs in his closest inner circle with people from his own background, elites from Russia's intelligence services and military. One analyst says among those Putin cronies, getting sanctioned by the West is a badge of honor, and he doesn't expect any of them to stage a palace coup anytime soon. Brian Todd, CNN, Washington.
I'll see you back here at the top of the hour, but for now, my colleague Kim Brunner picks it up in Atlanta. And he'll be at wedding host actually. He'll have details about a Syrian-American doctor who keeps buying one-way tickets to Ukraine to help doctors there tend to the wounded. His heartwarming story in a moment.
We all know that freedom is priceless, but a school for freedom is one hell of a deal. I'm Peggy Callahan. I am the co-founder and CEO of Voices for Freedom. Voices for Freedom is an anti-slavery organization. We are working in India, and we help people to freedom through a project called Schools for Freedom. It turns out that between 110 and 190 people can come to sustainable freedom over 3 years with their children being educated for a little less than $13,000 a year. In 2017, we took CNN to one of the villages we were working in Uttar Pradesh, India, and they got to see with their own eyes how the system works, how the schools work to help free people, what the conditions people are living in. They got to meet people and know them for themselves. And It really helped that they told this story. It has helped the organization explain it to lots of other people. And today, every single person they met in that village is free.
I'm Patrick Ottman in Havana, Cuba, and this is CNN.
Connect the world with Becky Anderson.
It all starts here. Changing, fighting, creating, connect. Real news that our world. Getting perspective on this region from this region. Places that many of us know, but few of us get to see. It all starts here. And that's why we're here. Bringing you the world from our Middle Eastern hub.
Connect the world with Becky Anderson. Tonight on CNN.
Today we live in an unpredictable environment and news races around the world at breakneck speed.
Our engine continues, our impetus, our momentum.
My show brings you the latest news and top news makers. Give me the facts on voter fraud.
There has never been a moment where voter fraud has affected the outcome of an election.
And we also dive below the headlines to explore vital issues impacting our lives.
Normally this theatre would be filled with people and art and debate and energy. And so now we have to rely on the two of us.
How interesting is it to be Tyler Mitchell today? It's crucial we make sense of what's happening. There seems to be some confusion that maybe you can clear up. Where are the US forces in Syria going? And fully understand what's at stake.
What's happening now in the world is a great thing because people are talking about subjects they never did before.
Alan Paul, Tuesday to Saturday on CNN.
So many questions about what is the federal government doing. Do you get the anger that is out here?
How concerned are you about the front line? You don't believe that there's a racial divide here. Looking back, as president, did you tell the story of race in America enough, do you think?
All the places I've been and all the things I've seen, all the people I've talked to, I carry with me. They're part of what I do right here, holding the powerful accountable, keeping them honest.
AC 360, Tuesday through Saturday only on CNN.
Today on Call to Earth, we have the second on our special report on big cats under threat around the world. Rolex Awards laureate Shafkat Hussain is our guest editor on Call to Earth for this quarter, and he's chosen this story on how conservationist Amy Dickman has enlisted the help of a Tanzanian tribe in protecting one of the most significant lion populations left on Earth.
Sunrise on the edge of Ruaha National Park. Here in central Tanzania, livestock is life.
Our tribe believes livestock is part of the family, and we cannot live without them.
Another day, another deadly threat for livestock and people. Stefano Asicheka is part of the Barabig, a little-known tribe with a long history with lions.
In our tribe, our customs and tradition raise us to have pride in killing a lion as a young man. And we are made to believe that once you kill one, it at least reduces the threat.
Traditionally, young warriors like this would gain rewards and status from killing lions. Part of the Lion Defenders program, Asicheka is showing them ways to protect the tribe while preserving the pride.
Lion defenders work in the village areas, and their task is to survey the borders early in the morning for lion tracks and to inform elders of the safety grazing areas.
The lion defenders are part of the Ruaha Carnivore Project, founded by Amy Dickman in 2009. When she first came here 4 years previously, things were bad.
It was the highest rates of lion killing that have been detected in East Africa in modern times.
She said she had to work hard to gain the tribe's trust.
We said we are just here to find out why you're killing these lions, and if there's a way you could achieve whatever you achieve, it's through conservation rather than killing.
And eventually, persistence paid off.
They really opened up to us, and since then it's really been a transformative relationship and working with them for conservation. We certainly know that lion killings have decreased by over 70% in the core area that we're working in.
The project offers financial incentives to protect lions by funding community services like education, doctors, and vets.
We'd love to collaborate with you guys because they need.
Dickman and her team have joined forces with other conservation projects in Kenya and Zambia to form a larger nonprofit, Lion Landscapes.
It really can be a way of uplifting people and making sure that wildlife is a way to get people out of poverty as well.
Asicheka also gives tours of the park to help his tribe see wildlife from a new perspective.
Many people love seeing animals. Even the locals who used to hunt them want to see the lions. They feel a sense of ownership and get to understand the right reasons why we are protecting lions.
Well, let us know what you're doing to answer the call with the hashtag #CallToEarth. All right, we'll be back after a short.
This is a hope spot, an area of the ocean painstakingly preserved by men and women whose lives depend on it. Today, there are more than 130 hope spots around the world. Thanks to Mission Bloom, the organization founded by explorer and marine biologist Sylvia Earle, they are multiplying. From the Mediterranean to the Caribbean, from the Antarctic to the Pacific. We support this initiative because we know that our survival depends on the ocean. Safeguarding its fauna and flora ensures the future of our planet and makes it perpetual.
Wherever you go in the world, one airline goes further to make it feel exceptional. Qatar Airways, going places together.
Business never sleeps. As the sun sets in Seoul and Shanghai, deals are signed in Dubai, and Europe is already in play. New York prepares to make its first move. I'm Julia Chatterley, journalist, global market analyst, and host of CNN's First Move. Join me in the financial capital of the world for market-moving perspective on the news influencing global politics, culture, and finance. I'll speak to newsmakers, risk takers, and the ultimate game changers. Bold moves, big deals, winning trades. It's all right here. Make CNN your first move.
First Move with Julia Chatterley. Tonight on CNN.
We've got to move, because Russian snipers are operating in this area.
There was a large blast that rained down thousands of pieces of shrapnel.
The Russian military is targeting civilians.
There's still a lot of anxiety and fear here.
Every person here has a story of choosing to leave their home behind.
Do you finally feel safe?
Lives will never be the same.
In Kiev, Tbilisi, Lviv,
Warsaw.
This is CNN.
Actor Johnny Depp returned to the stand in a Virginia court in his defamation case against ex-wife Amber Heard. He described their relationship and how it changed, accusing Heard of calling him names and making demeaning comments. Depp also said an argument between the two in 2015 ended with him seeking medical care. Listen to this.
She threw the large bottle and it made contact and shattered everywhere. And then I looked down and realized that the tip of my finger had been severed.
Depp is suing Heard for $50 million over a 2018 Washington Post op-ed in which she wrote about her experience with domestic abuse. Even though she didn't name him, Depp claims it cost him film work. A Syrian-American doctor living in Texas knows all too well the effect war has on a country's health system. Dr. Monzer Yazgi has made more than 30 trips to his home country of Syria to help ease the heavy burden put on medical professionals there. And now he's risking his life to help fellow doctors in war-ravaged Ukraine. Dr. Sanjay Gupta has the story of a man who keeps buying one-way tickets to war zones.
Whenever I travel to the war zones and I leave my home, always I do one-way ticket.
Dr. Monzer Yazgi is getting ready for a journey he's made before. His third trip from his home in Edinburgh, Texas, to eastern Ukraine.
As a physician first, it's our duty and our ethics to help every needed person in the world.
I understand that feeling. I've been in war zones and disaster zones as a reporter. Monzer and I were in Haiti at the same time in 2010. At times, I have felt compelled to help.
How much do you worry now about your own safety?
Every time I go back, I say this is maybe the last time I'll be going. Because when I decide to come, it's a lot of fear. And then in a minute, I just remember my promise and why the people love their life and I see their children not seeing them.
We work in different cities. Dr. Yazgi, a Syrian American, ran over 30 medical missions since 2011 to help his homeland during the catastrophic war there. But even as the conflicts continue in Syria, he finds himself in a similar situation in another country.
What happened in Ukraine, it happened in Syria. And I feel myself that I'm part of it.
Nearly 2 months of war and at least 119 attacks on clinics and hospitals have left the Ukrainian health system in disarray and desperately in need of outside help.
The hospitals, which been attacked by the Russian army.
Dr. Yazgi spends the next 5 days in an almost constant blur of action.
I wonder if you can just sort of describe what you're encountering. Is there not enough care to be given?
A lot of high complexity surgeries. Trauma, like we did a surgery Monday, like for a person lost half of the upper posterior upper shoulder, the upper arm, the chest, the upper chest. This man survived.
There are issues with water and electricity. There are shortages of medical supplies. Performing as many as half a dozen operations in a day, what Dr. Yazji and his Ukrainian colleagues are doing is, in the context of things, nothing short of miraculous. One thing he learned in Syria is the need to perform skin grafts as soon as possible to reduce the risk of infection.
This is the most challenging, really, kind of surgery, because the faster you cover the bone, you facilitate healing and prevent infection.
These are patients who've been injured in these explosions that we're witnessing on television. They may lose skin, they may have fractured bones, they may need amputations, and so you're talking about creating flaps to try and care for them. Is that right?
It really saves the amputation. You make a big difference in people's life.
Dr. Yazji doesn't just provide medical support, though. He provides a form of mental nourishment to the Ukrainian doctors as well.
When I see a Ukrainian doctor suffering because, exhausted mentally, physically, and the attack on them, I see us, ourselves, we were there. That way, this is all make me come to Ukraine and be with them.
The morning after our call, he started for home, but leaving with a promise that he will be back. Dr. Sanjay Gupta, CNN, reporting.
And if you'd like to help people in Ukraine who may need shelter, food, and water, please go to cnn.com/impact, and then you can find several ways you can help. All right, thanks so much for watching this hour of CNN Newsroom. I'm Kim Brunhuber. Our breaking news coverage of the war in Ukraine continues after the break. Please stay with us.
Yeah!